You've probably been told that intelligence is a number, that it's something you're born with, that it can be measured, ranked, compared, and printed neatly on a test sheet. But what if nearly everything you've ever heard about intelligence is wrong? In classrooms, in offices, in families, even in friendships, we use the word smart like it's a verdict. We point to grades, to quick answers, to big words, to degrees, and we call that intelligence. But true intelligence, the kind that shapes the course of human progress, is far deeper, quieter, and stranger than most of us ever realize. So today, let's challenge some of the most deeply rooted misconceptions about intelligence, those facts that almost everyone believes, but which science, psychology, and real life quietly disprove. Welcome to Professor Explain 101. This is totally incorrect facts everyone believes about intelligence. Section 1. The IQ Illusion. Let's begin with one of the oldest and most persistent myths. IQ defines intelligence. For over a century, IQ, or intelligence quotient, has been treated as the ultimate measure of smartness. It's printed on report cards, used in hiring tests, even mentioned in dating profiles. But here's the truth. IQ doesn't measure your intelligence. It measures a small, specific set of abilities, mainly pattern recognition, verbal reasoning, and spatial logic. Useful? Yes. Complete? Not even close. Think about this. A person might score 130 on an IQ test, genius level, yet struggle to manage their emotions, read social cues, or make wise decisions. Meanwhile, someone with an average IQ might lead a team, raise a family, or build a thriving business with intuition, empathy, and creative insight that no test could ever quantify. Myth number 1. IQ never changes. Completely false. Studies show IQ can shift throughout life. Trauma, stress, nutrition, sleep, education, even mindset can alter your cognitive performance. In other words, the brain isn't fixed. It's fluid, alive, always learning. Myth number 2. High IQ guarantees success. Also wrong. Research from Harvard psychologist Daniel Goleman revealed that emotional intelligence, EQ, predicts long-term success more accurately than IQ does. Why? Because success depends not only on how you think, but how you connect, persist, and adapt. The most intelligent minds in history, from Einstein to Da Vinci, didn't just have high IQs. They had curiosity, emotional balance, and humility to keep learning. So, next time someone boasts about their IQ, remember, they're quoting a single line from a much longer story. Section 2. The Talent Trap. Myth number 3. Smart people are born, not made. It's comforting to believe that brilliance is genetic. It means we can admire genius without feeling responsible to cultivate it. But neuroscience has dismantled that illusion completely. The brain is plastic, not literally, but functionally. It changes structure based on what you do, think, and focus on. Every time you learn a skill, recall information, or solve a problem, you're reshaping your brain. In short, intelligence grows through effort, not inheritance. Albert Einstein famously said, "It's not that I'm so smart, it's just that I stay with problems longer." That's the real secret. Intelligence is persistence in disguise. Now, let's challenge another belief. Myth number 4. Effort means you're not smart. We often assume that if someone needs to try hard, they're less intelligent. But effort is not evidence of weakness. It's the process that builds strength. Children who are praised for effort, not innate ability, develop a growth mindset, a term coined by psychologist Carol Dweck. Those with a growth mindset perform better, handle setbacks better, and actually become more intelligent over time. Meanwhile, those labeled naturally gifted often avoid challenges, afraid to fail and lose the label. They may peak early, then stagnate. So here's the truth. The people who look effortlessly smart are often the ones who've practiced intelligently for years. What you call talent is just discipline multiplied by time. Section 3. The knowledge fallacy. Myth number 5. Being intelligent means knowing a lot. This is one of the most seductive misconceptions. It's why people memorize facts, quote studies, and speak in technical jargon, not to understand, but to appear smart. But intelligence isn't accumulation, it's application. It's not how much you know, but how well you think. The philosopher Socrates said, "I am wise because I know that I know nothing." This isn't humility for show, it's cognitive clarity. He understood that knowledge is infinite, and true intelligence comes from curiosity, not certainty. In modern life, this myth thrives online. People mistake access to information for intelligence. But Google doesn't make you smart. It just removes friction between ignorance and data. Intelligence is what happens after you read, how you analyze, connect, and create meaning. Myth number 6. Experts know everything. False. Experts know how to ask better questions. They know what they don't know. That's why real scientists never claim absolute truth. They propose hypotheses, test them, and remain open to being wrong. Contrast that with someone who argues loudly but never listens. They may sound confident, but that confidence is just armor for fragile thinking. In fact, studies show that the least competent people often overestimate their ability, a phenomenon called the Dunning-Kruger effect. True intelligence begins when arrogance ends. So, if you're willing to admit what you don't know, congratulations. You're already ahead of most people pretending to know everything. Section 4. The emotion myth. Myth number 7. Emotion and intelligence don't mix. This idea runs deep, especially in schools and workplaces. We're taught to stay rational, think logically, and not get emotional. But neuroscience says the opposite. Emotion and logic are inseparable. The prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that makes decisions, works hand in hand with the limbic system, where emotions live. Without emotion, you can't prioritize. You can't decide what matters. In other words, emotion is not the enemy of reason. It's the foundation of it. Think about empathy, the ability to sense and understand others' feelings. It's one of the highest forms of intelligence because it allows cooperation, adaptation, and moral reasoning. Myth number 8. Feelings get in the way of intelligence. Wrong again. It's not feelings that distort intelligence. It's uncontrolled feelings. An intelligent mind doesn't suppress emotion, it regulates it. When you can observe anger without becoming it, or notice fear without obeying it, you're operating at a higher cognitive level. That's emotional intelligence, the quiet power behind leadership, creativity, and resilience. So instead of separating emotion from intelligence, the wise thing is to integrate them, because to understand others deeply, you must first understand yourself. Section 5. The Confidence Paradox. Myth number 9. Smart people are always sure. This one's sneaky. We often equate confidence with intelligence, as if knowing means never doubting. But the smartest people on earth are often the ones who question themselves most. Why? Because they're aware of complexity. They understand that truth isn't binary. It's layered, evolving. Bertrand Russell once said, "The trouble with the world is that the stupid are cocksure, and the intelligent are full of doubt." And he was right. Doubt isn't weakness, it's a sign of awareness. People with high intelligence tend to use metacognition, thinking about their own thinking. They analyze their biases, test assumptions, and seek disconfirming evidence. That doesn't make them indecisive, it makes them precise. Myth number 10. Intelligence makes you arrogant. In reality, deep intelligence breeds humility, because the more you learn, the more you realize how little you know. That humility is why the greatest thinkers, from Newton to Curie, often spoke softly about their own achievements. They weren't pretending to be modest. They were genuinely aware of how vast the unknown still was. So, the next time someone brags about how smart they are, remember, loud certainty is often a mask for shallow understanding. Quiet curiosity is the sound of real intelligence. Conclusion. The reframe. We've spent this episode breaking down the myths, but let's rebuild something in their place. True intelligence isn't about being right all the time. It's about being ready to learn all the time. It's not IQ, talent, or trivia. It's awareness, adaptability, and emotional depth. It's the ability to face complexity without retreating to simplicity. It's understanding that thinking is not a performance, it's a process. Every day you're shaping your own intelligence through the questions you ask, the patience you practice, and the humility you keep. So forget the test scores, the labels, the comparisons. The mind is a living instrument. Tune it, and it will keep evolving. You've been watching Professor Explain 101. If this reflection helped you see intelligence differently, pause for a second before you move on. Real understanding isn't a quick fix, it's awareness in motion. And if you'd like to keep exploring the deeper layers of the human mind, make sure to subscribe, not just to support this channel, but to stay connected to a world that values thought over noise. Until next time, stay curious, stay questioning, and keep letting explanation be your compass.